The French colonial myth was simple. Angkor Wat was built by slave labor, its gold stripped by invaders, its treasury empty. But in the École Française d'Extrême-Orient archives in Paris, I found the inventory that disproved everything. A 13th-century Chinese envoy's report, sealed by imperial censors for being too fantastical to be believed. Zhou Daguan's A Record of Cambodia described the Khmer capital's wealth, but a marginal note in different ink added, "The true gold of the Devaraja is not in his palaces, but in the mountain that is his likeness. Where his gaze falls at equinox, the earth opens to reveal heaven's metal. The mountain that is his likeness, the Kulen Mountains, whose profile matches the face of Jayavarman VII on his famous temple portraits. Where his gaze falls, the sightline from his palace to a specific peak. But the French had searched the Kulen Plateau for decades. They found sandstone quarries, yes. Gold? Never. The breakthrough came from LiDAR deforestation maps. In 2022, archaeologists scanning the Kulen region noticed an anomaly. A perfectly circular depression on a remote peak, invisible from ground level, exactly aligned with Angkor Thom's central tower. Not natural, not modern. The hunt for Jayavarman VII's $600 million mountain treasury began with satellite imagery and a censored Chinese footnote. Phase 1. The Deforestation Revelation. The LiDAR team, led by Cambodian archaeologist Dr. Soria Chea, invited me to join. "The circle is 50 meters across," she said, showing me the 3D model, too perfect for nature. And look at the approach. A stone staircase leading up the south face, completely overgrown. We hacked through jungle for 3 days. The staircase was magnificent, wide, ceremonial, each step carved with Naga serpent balustrades now swallowed by roots. It led to the plateau, where the circle was. But the circle wasn't a hole. It was a raised platform of laterite stone, covered in soil and vegetation. Ground-penetrating radar showed a void beneath, a man-made chamber. But no entrance. Dr. Chea consulted ancient texts. The Devaraja, god-king, was believed to store his Preya Khan, sacred gold, in the womb of the mountain. Access required the key of compassion. Jayavarman was Buddhist, unlike his Hindu predecessors. The key of compassion sounded metaphorical. But Khmer engineering was literal. I examined Jayavarman's known projects: hospitals, rest houses, reservoirs. His public works always had hidden symbolism. Phase 2. The Competing Interests. Our team attracted attention. The Cambodian government, through the Apsara Authority, wanting control of any major find. The French archaeological mission, led by Professor Laurent Dubois, claiming historical research rights from colonial-era agreements. International art dealers, circling like vultures, offering security services. Local villagers, descendants of Khmer builders, with oral traditions about the Golden Mountain. Dr. Chea insisted, "This is Cambodian heritage, but we need expertise." She formed a consortium. Her team, Dubois' epigraphers, my metallurgical analysis, and, crucially, village elders who knew the mountain's secrets. An elder named Prak told us, "My grandfather said the mountain breathes gold on Buddha's birthday. There is a door, but it opens only for those who bring medicine, not weapons." Medicine. Jayavarman built 102 hospitals. His key of compassion might be medical. Phase 3. The Hydraulic Lock. We searched the platform's edges. Beneath moss, we found stone conduits, water channels, and at the 4 cardinal points, bronze spouts shaped as Garuda mouths, mythical bird, enemy of Nagas. Dr. Chea had a realization. During the monsoon, water would flow through these, but from where? We traced the channels uphill to a natural spring, now dry due to deforestation. Prak intervened. "There is another spring, hidden. My people kept it secret from the French." He led us to a sealed cave containing a perfectly preserved Khmer-era water reservoir, fed by a perennial spring with sluice gates. "The key is water," I said. "But not just any water, medicinal water." Jayavarman's hospitals used herbal infusions. Perhaps the lock required specific water. Ancient Khmer medical texts preserved in Thai monasteries described gold-preserving waters infused with saffron, sandalwood, and lotus, substances that also prevent metal corrosion. We prepared the infusion as described. At the spring equinox, when his gaze falls, we opened the sluice gates, letting the infused water flow down the channels into the Garuda mouths. For an hour, nothing. Then, a deep, gong-like sound echoed through the mountain. The entire central section of the platform, a 20-ton stone disc, rotated counterclockwise, revealing a staircase descending into the mountain. Phase 4. The Buddhist Treasury. The chamber was not what we expected, no piles of gold. Instead, gold leaf-covered walls creating a dazzling luminous space, and in the center a massive golden Buddha seated on a Naga throne, 4 meters tall, solid gold. But around it, something more extraordinary: gold medical instruments, scalpels, needles, cups, all solid gold. Gold containers labeled in ancient Khmer for medicines. Gold tablets inscribed with medical texts. This wasn't a treasury. It was a backup of civilization. Jayavarman hadn't hidden wealth. He'd hidden knowledge and healing tools in precious, incorruptible form. Inscriptions explained, "In times of war or plague, when stone burns and paper rots, this gold remains. Let future kings melt it not for crowns, but for hospitals. This is the Devaraja's true merit, not what he keeps, but what he preserves for his people's suffering." But there was more. Behind the Buddha, a smaller chamber contained gold records, tax rolls, census data, architectural plans for Angkor. The entire administrative memory of the empire, etched on gold foil. And one final room, the bullion reserve. Gold bars, stamped with the king's seal, but also with symbols of trade partners. Champa, Srivijaya, even Song dynasty China. This was international gold, the empire's trade surplus. Phase 5. The Ethical Dilemma. Dubois wanted immediate publication. The Apsara Authority wanted to seal the site for national security. Art dealers offered $200 million for just the Buddha. Dr. Chea gathered us. This is not treasure. It is responsibility. Jayavarman saved this for Cambodia's future crises. Do we have the right to spend it? Prak spoke softly. My people have guarded this mountain for 800 years, not for gold, but for the promise. When Cambodia suffers greatly, the mountain will provide healing. That time is not now. We faced a choice: reveal everything and risk looting, or keep it secret and betray scientific transparency. Phase 6. The Compromise. We reached an agreement. The gold medical instruments and records would be documented in situ with 3D scanning, then left in place. The Buddha would remain, but with 24/7 remote monitoring. Only the trade gold bars would be extracted. To fund a new Jayavarman 7th Medical Heritage Foundation, building hospitals in rural Cambodia. The site would be officially recorded, but not publicly located until security was guaranteed. The valuation was complex. Gold Buddha, estimated 2,000 kili. Priceless cultural artifact. Gold medical collection. Priceless historical value. Trade gold bars, 800 kilos. $50 million bullion value. Total insured value, $600 million for the entire site. But the real value was the philosophical revelation. Jayavarman 7th, often depicted as a warrior king, was actually a pragmatic humanitarian. He gold-plated knowledge because he knew metal outlasts empires. He built a mountain fortress not for his wealth, but for his people's future survival. The mountain's promise. Today, the Golden Peak remains guarded by both technology and tradition. Prak's community are official conservators. The Medical Foundation has built 3 rural hospitals. For me, the discovery redefined what treasure means. Jayavarman didn't hoard gold for power. He encrypted civilization's essentials in the most durable medium available. His treasury was a civilizational backup drive, not for his dynasty, but for Khmer culture itself. Sometimes the greatest wealth isn't what you can spend, but what you preserve for those you'll never meet. Jayavarman looked 800 years into the future and made a deposit. We are merely the temporary accountants of that legacy. The real treasure is knowing that in a mountain in Cambodia there sits a golden Buddha holding not just enlightenment, but a king's extreme forward-thinking compassion, a message in metal that says, "When all else fails, this remains. Use it wisely." And perhaps that's the ultimate treasure hunt, not finding gold, but understanding why it was hidden and becoming worthy of that trust across centuries.